Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show, where we cover the news and the topics you need to know about going into your workday, and we bring you the energy, folks. There's not going to be a morning show on the entire internet that's going to bring you the entertainment, the laugh, the cries, the smiles, like we do here on the Bald Brad Show. So I say buckle up, baby, because you're always in for a hell of a ride, and you know you're going to get what you pay for. For those that are members, appreciate you. God bless all of you. You're keeping the lights on here for me. All righty. Well, yesterday, late last night, I'm sitting there on my couch, putting my little feetsies up like Joey did for 40% of his presidency, and I'm having a good old time. Had a good day. I hung out with the Patriots in the morning for the Bulk Brad Show. Then I hung out with the Patriots again for about an hour and a half plus for Dark MAGA Podcast, which was freaking awesome, by the way. I had way too much fun with that. I was drenched in sweat. God, that's how you know you're having a good time. Then I'm laying on the couch. Like I said, I had my feet up. I was having a good time. And I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast about UFOs and aliens, like you do. And I stumbled across this TikTok video. Now, we'll get into the real news, but it totally plays into what I've talked about of how the left take things very literal. Hold on one second. Getting feedback. Hold on. All right, there we go. I was getting feedback. My bad. Hopefully you guys were able to hear that. I don't think you were based on this this screen that I'm on. Now, I got tagged in a TikTok video. Now, here's my TikTok, okay? We clearly been doing really well. Now, some people look at this and go, well, you only have, 12,000 views, 19,000, 21,000, 16,000. Folks, I only have 12,000 followers. And just like 4 days ago, I think I only had 7,000 or 8,000. So these are huge numbers for the amount of people that I have. Not to mention like 350,000 almost this will hit. 104. I mean, look at these. They're all in the Ks. These are hundreds of thousands. So I'm bringing this up because you remember how I said that there's always these people that like have to be right, or they try to do a video that tries to make them right, and they take everything that you say literally, where there's no reading between the lines with these people. So let me show you this guy's video. The dude has 100,000 subscribers or followers, I suppose. And this is the video he made about me. I'm going to pause it. But it's a video about Japan prepares for war. I would like to point out, none of what I said is my opinion other than me talking about their military. Other than that, everything that I've talked about is coming from news articles. So this guy's allegedly, they call him the intel guy. And I guess he's a previous, I don't know, military guy. Not really sure. I've never seen him before, but here we go.
Looks like Japan now might be in the mix.
Meet Bald Brad. He's a conservative podcaster, quite a large following on other platforms. I think he's new to TikTok. He's about to tell us why Japan is in danger.
Because North Korea just launched another missile over them, making it the second time this month.
Sounds an awful lot like 2017. I know because I was there. On the
Sounds like an awful lot like 2017. I would know. Because I was there. Has nothing to do with my video. Has nothing to do with what I said.
peninsula, that is. He then goes on to talk about how China is breathing down their necks and how Russia is doing more military maneuvers and activities in Japanese air and sea space. And this is true. But then he says this.
Thank you.
And get this, Japan doesn't even have a real army. Let that one sink in.
Man, who were my Marines training with in 2017?
Do you know that there's a clip of a movie when somebody says something and they totally miss what the person was talking about, and they're all just slapping their foreheads because this guy thinks that I think that they don't have like any military whatsoever, when what I was talking about was they don't have a real military. Their military small, like can be ran over. Somebody, at least in his comment section, made a good point that they have a pretty big Navy, but it doesn't matter when somebody says, you got to understand, when somebody goes, well, they have the 4th largest military in the world. Yeah, so did Iraq in the Gulf War, and we steamrolled them in like 2 weeks. But see, when I say like 2 weeks, they go, well, it really wasn't 2 weeks. It was a few months, really. It's like, come on, read between the line, folks. It's just conversation. That's how I've always done my videos, conversation style. But this is what these people do, man.
Couldn't have been these guys.
They rely almost entirely on the United States to defend them. And now, with Trump questioning that one-sided deal...
Watch this. I said they rely almost entirely on the United States military to defend them, which is true, by the way. That's not even an opinion. Later on in the video, he'll talk about all these things. Just watch.
Japan is exposed.
Man, that Japanese ground self-defense force of 150,000 soldiers must have been a figment of my imagination. Not to mention their 450 main battle tanks and their over 400 infantry fighting vehicles.
That's it? That's it? Folks, he's talking about how big and mighty the Japanese military is. I don't think that's a real military. That's like our reserve. Mind you, I'm talking about North Korea and China taking over Japan. China. The dude's bragging how they have 150,000 troops over there in Japan versus China. Folks, Russia invaded Ukraine with 120,000 troops. And there's an argument to be made, those troops are gone. So what do you do? But don't worry, this is a real army in his opinion. Oh, I got you.
And their 400 artillery units, and their air defense system, and their squadrons of Apaches, Cobras, Blackhawks, Hueys.
And this is a great point. You see how they're just listing out a bunch of nonsense? Because when you can spew a bunch of things that doesn't mean anything, well, they got 12 units of Apaches. Probably our military stuff, by the way. 40 units of Cobras. Ninja, you're just, look at Blackhawks, 39, which was our military. But I thought they don't rely on us, you guys. I thought they don't rely on us for stuff. Yeah, it's probably a lot of our equipment.
Chinooks, V-22 Osprey, 24 submarines, frigates and destroyers, a couple aircraft carriers being retrofitted for F-35.
Notify the newspapers, everybody. Let everybody know that they got equipment.
Some patrol ships, Seahawk helicopters. You have the P-3 Orion Maritime Patrol aircraft, some F-15s, a couple F-35s, a couple aerial fuelers, some CH-130s, some more Chinooks. Apparently, he was unaware of the United States having multiple bases over in Japan's territory to include an entire fleet carrier group. And apparently, he was unaware of our
So, hold on a second. I was told about 60 seconds before this that they don't rely on our military. So why does our military need to be there then? They don't rely on us. Well, they do is the problem, and big time. The same way South Korea does. Oh, it just so happens that gets brought up in a little bit here.
Decade joint defense partnership where we conduct joint exercises together every year, all the time. Not to mention the trilateral defense sharing agreement that we have between Japan, the U.S., and South Korea. Yeah, I guess he was unaware of all that. Instead,
oh, no, absolutely aware of it, which is why I said, they rely on the United States. Those agreements allow them to have their, what's called safety. Safety.
He wants you to believe this.
Things are unstable. Things are getting wild, but I want to keep you up to date. Hit that follow button if you want more news.
One would think the news would have to be accurate, but that hasn't stopped other creators from going viral and gaining a large following. So I
went viral. I didn't think I did. I really didn't think I did, you guys. Don't worry, we'll get into the news. I want to make sure I milk this for everything it's worth because it's my highlight reel, basically. Oh, God, we went viral. Thank you, everybody. Congrats to all of you in the chat. And I'm not being satirical. I didn't think I did, but this is great.
Bald Brad be any different? If you want to live in fear, then maybe consider giving him a follow. Oh, and Brad, if you see this, and I honestly don't care if you do, just know that I dispel fear-mongering. It's kind of my thing on here. But yeah, you do you, boo-boo.
Yes! That was great. Guys, I can't tell you the reason why I put that at the front of the show. I was so freaking giddy. I go after people that are fear-mongering. Fuck, dude. You just can't make it up. I showed my wife yesterday. I was just cracking up. I was like, can you believe this? Even she, and by the way, she's not into politics. She didn't even watch the show. I don't know if you guys know that. My wife doesn't even watch the show. She doesn't know anything about it. She knows I do it, but I was showing her. She's like, so she's not even in politics. And she's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, what the fuck? Maybe look, at least he was monotone. He actually does seem like a pretty nice guy. Like it's, and I'll be generous. It seems like a guy that actually I would talk to. I'm just cracking up because I don't know what the hell that video was all about. The guy said absolutely nothing. I don't mean to be rude here, but he didn't. No, he basically said nothing that I said was wrong, but trying to pretend and almost make a video as if something I said was wrong. You guys notice that too? And honestly, be honest with me. You guys always are. You guys hold me accountable. Hell, last week, nobody was with me. Not a single person was with me on any of the stuff. What I got out of it was Brad said a bunch of things. Somebody tagged me in the video, meaning somebody tagged him in my video. He's like, well, I got to do a video on it. Let me see something about fear mongering. I had no fear mongering. I literally was just saying, hey, Japan is preparing because we're not so sure that, or they're not so sure that they can rely on us for support with Donald Trump. And I think that's a fair thing to say. And that they are. By the way, if you notice, he didn't play my entire video. Do you want to know why I said Japan's preparing for war? Is because Japan, in the video that I posted, this is the slimy stuff they do. In the video I posted is because they're not so sure they can rely on us to the extent of what they were able to before. And so they're talking about becoming a nuclear power. They're talking about creating nuclear weapons because they keep having North Korea and China breathing down their neck and dealing with Russia. So the conversation in that video, by the way, that he never mentioned was Japan is in talks currently of trying to get a nuclear warhead possibly. Notice how none of that's brought up. It's really funny, isn't it? Oh, but we got to push it. I'm the fearmonger. Yeah. I'm the one that's spreading misinformation according to his followers in their comments. Anywho, I thought you guys would have fun with that. I had a kick out of it. I love it. And it also shows, aren't we getting bigger here? Guys, we're not a small channel anymore. We were shown, and thank you, Krager, if you're in the chat. I want to bring this up before I get in. Again, I want to make sure we bring up all the highlights for everybody who's here. I want to bring up again that we were also highlighted in the highlight reel yesterday as well. So where is it here? Krager linked me this. We showed it on Dark MAGA. I want to show it to everybody here while we have everybody here. Krager, who's a follower of the show, linked me in this. By the way, this is no small video. I want to point out, this is no small video. So do you remember how way before the news cycle talked about this, I said, I got information from the Shawn Ryan podcast from Sarah Abrams, codenamed Superbad, that the United States, the Biden administration, was giving anywhere from $40 to $80 million to the Taliban every single week. Every single week. Now, legend here, who is followed by a lot of people, posted a video to X yesterday that has, in this video alone, 156,000 views and almost 200,000 views in this video. I'm going to play it again, just the first 3 minutes of this for the show. But again, this guy right here is this guy legend. They are the same guy. This video that Shawn Ryan did went viral, by the way. We're in it. I made it, folks. I got my fame. Holy crap. Folks, when you see stuff like this, where people are starting to make videos about you, all press is good press, is it not? I'll take it wherever. That's what she said. Here we go.
in honor of Mullah Haibatullah, not in the
So whenever I talk about Superbad or codename Superbad or Sarah Adams, this is her right here. This is the queen, man. This is the terrorist tracker, baby. This is the real deal. This woman right here. This is the real deal. God, she's a wealth of knowledge, man. She's a wealth of knowledge.
the name of the generosity of the American people.
Tim Birch, you go.
There we go. We had our 3 seconds, maybe 2, but we'll extend it to 3. You always got to say you're bigger than what you are, right? That's me. Hey. Now, okay. I said this yesterday on Dark Maggot. I know we have some really important news to get into because there was biological attack that was being plotted on the United States. Trust me, we'll get into it, I promise. But, this is all of us. Yeah, of course, I'm the one on the screen, but I wanted to bask in all the glory of the work we've all done here because, look, it's not just me showing up, right? It's also the patriots in the chat. You guys contribute your hard-earned money to the show. And even if it's like 3 seconds, and I guess it literally was 3 seconds, that's cool. And by the way, you guys, we're in the same video as all these other people. Isn't that insane? Like with Shawn Ryan, Burchett, like Marjorie, we're all in the same video. Like Donald Trump's in this video. And by the like Fox News, I want to point out this is sent to like people of like Shawn Ryan definitely saw this video. Like these people saw us. That's pretty damn cool. I gotta say, so shout out to Krager for tagging me. If you guys see anything like that while you're perusing the internet and you see like, oh, what the hell's Brad doing in this thing? Link me on X. I would love to see it. Again, somebody the other day, I think it was Angel said that I was on Tim Pool. Like Tim Pool shouted me out. Like, I don't know. Like, let me know. I think it's cool because I want to acknowledge, yeah, I want to see it because it acknowledges my hard work, but also acknowledges you guys as well. And I want to make sure we share all this stuff together because it's fun. And we're all on the same journey together. That's what's great about it. All righty, now here we go. Everybody buckle up because I can't. Well, there was some biologics found. Not good. Here we go. Sound the alarm, folks. Chinese nationals charged with smuggling, is it agroterrorism agent into the United States, direct threat. It seems like this is a very plausible event of taking place and could lead to a very substantial terrorism act taking place that we've all been talking about for a very long time. Now, I basically said not a lot of something there, not a lot of anything really, because I needed time to process this whole thing because this is bonkers, man. I cannot believe this is not getting wall-to-wall coverage. FBI Director Kash Patel told Fox News Digital that the case involving 2 Chinese nationals who were charged Tuesday, just yesterday, with allegedly smuggling a dangerous biological pathogen into the United States to study at the University of Michigan laboratory demonstrates a serious national security threat to America's food supply. Hello? What is this all about? This case is a sobering reminder that the Chinese Communist Party continues to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate our institutions and target our food supply, an act that could cripple our economy and endanger American lives. Isn't this exactly what I was talking about last week? Remember how I said, look, I think people should come here to study, but there should be a conversation to be had that a lot of people come into our university systems from other countries and they gain a wealth of knowledge. They go into our research centers. They go into our studies. They could be manipulating them. They could be taking the just the IPs from them. They could be taking all sorts of things and then taking it back to their home country. They're profiting off our backs and stealing our stuff, which the intellectual property that Chinese steals is upwards of like $1 trillion. I think this needs to be more of a conversation. And it's weird that we don't look at our national security as something of serious substance like we used to back in the day. Whether you agree with the Patriot Act or not, you know, we gave away a lot of our liberties through that because of what happened in 9/11. And it's as if nobody cares. We're just allowing all these people to come in illegally. Terrorists, smugglers, you know, people that are doing terrible things to little girls. I don't understand this. I really don't. This is common sense to me. Smuggling a known agroterrorism agent into the United States is not just a violation of law. It's a direct threat to national security. He keeps using this word smuggling. So that tells me that they didn't do this in a proper manner. They did this nefariously. Into the United States, just a violation of law. It's a direct threat to national security. I commend the FBI Detroit Division and our partners at CBP for stopping this biological threat before it could do real damage. If he's coming out and saying this is probably something massive, man. University of Michigan research fellow, not even going to bother saying the names, but this girl and her boyfriend, both citizens of the People's Republic of China, have been charged in a criminal complaint with conspiracy, smuggling goods into the United States, false statements, visa fraud, and U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan announced Tuesday. The investigation is being conducted by the FBI and the U.S. Customs Border and Protection. If Kash Patel is going to come out and say that these individuals had this type of biologics on them, he better be pretty damn sure, because that's a hell of an allegation to make against some people. I think he knows already what it is, and I think it's some insane thing. Why else come out with this? Here we go. Well, we actually, it turns out the next paragraph, as if I've read it before, which I have not. We're going through this together real time. You know how we do the news articles here. You get reactionary commentary from me, baby. Okay, the couple are accused of smuggling a fungus called, here, let's put it in the chat and you guys can all research it because I know you guys are, you're all into that stuff. Here we go. This is the name of it. You can copy and paste it. Fusarium graminearium. It's like I'm fucking Harry Potter. Furgasarium garminum. I wish I had a wand, like something like a wand in here. The hell is this Harry Potter crap? Which scientific literature classifies as a potential agroterrorism weapon. Am I saying that agroterrorism weapon correctly, or agroterrorism? According to the Justice Department, federal prosecutors note the noxious fungus causes head blight, a disease of wheat, barley, rice, and is responsible for billions of dollars of economic losses worldwide each year. Why would you need to bring that in? Now, some would say, well, we need to bring it in because maybe we're able to develop some sort of, I don't know, I'm gonna be so far off here, pesticide, heck, I don't know, that would counter this. So there's a reason why we need to bring it in. Okay, why do you need to smuggle it in? That's a little weird. And when I hear fungus, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't. And a lot of people, we just got done having a thing called COVID. So if you had your head on straight, maybe you think we're a little bit of hyper aware to all this stuff. Unbelievable. The Justice Department also says This toxin causes vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects in humans and livestock. Well, I'm sure glad they were bringing it here. According to the criminal complaint, this 33-year-old allegedly received Chinese government funding for her work on the pathogen in China. Federal prosecutors say this individual's electronics contain information describing her membership in and loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party. That doesn't really tell, well, membership in the Chinese Communist Party, but I don't know how normalized that is there. You know what I mean? I would expect there's a lot of people that pledge their allegiance and loyalty to the Communist Party. Kind of like what we're supposed to do here in the United States, by the way. We're supposed to pledge allegiance to the United States of America. A lot of Americans don't, by the way. This youth, this generation that you're experiencing right now that are growing up, that are just graduating high school, they don't even say the Pledge of Allegiance. In public school, they won't even stand for it. We got a massive problem, but that's not what this article is about. We got another problem here with biologics being smuggled in. If you think this hasn't happened already under the Biden administration, what's that phrase? I got a bridge to sell you in Berlin, Brooklyn. Like, there has to be some sort of biologics or some sort of nefarious thing out there that was already smuggled across the border under Joey. If the terrorists didn't take advantage of that, of Joe Biden being a dullard and a weak president, I don't know. They're idiots, I guess. I'm not sure. The 34-year-old allegedly works at a Chinese university where he conducts research on the same pathogen. According to the complaint, federal prosecutors say he first lied, but then admitted to smuggling this agent into the United States through the Detroit airport. His alleged goal was to conduct research on the pathogen at the laboratory of the University of Michigan, where his girlfriend worked, according to court documents. But then why not go through the process of working with the University of Michigan to bring that in the United States? Why would you smuggle it? It's tough. Really stupid and bring it in under good terms, or really smart and nefarious. I don't know. I like to try to give people the benefit of the doubt usually. The FBI arrested this individual in connection with allegations, and she was scheduled to make her first federal court appearance in Detroit on Tuesday afternoon, according to the Justice Department. It's unclear whether this individual has been taken into custody. Oh, I hope so. I would like to get to the bottom of this. The alleged actions of these Chinese nationals, including a loyal member of the Chinese Communist Party, are of the gravest national security concerns, U.S. Attorney Jerome Gordon said in a statement. These two aliens have been charged with smuggling a fungus that has been described as a potential agroterrorism weapon into the heartland of America. Isn't that crazy? Oh, it just gets wilder and wilder. Every day that we're on this earth, things just get more and more insane. And it goes into what Marco Rubio was talking about of revoking visas. Looking into these students that are here in the United States that are pro-Hamas, pro-terrorism, pro-communist party over there in China, smuggling stuff across our borders into our university systems. And by the way, who knows if it was really for research? It could have been. I mean, you could say that argument nowadays about anything. I mean, that's what they did with COVID, using gain of function research. Well, we got to see what we can create. So if somebody did create it, we can make sure we combat it. God, these people. So anyways, that happened. And shout out to the FBI and all the good work over there at Detroit Airport for catching this, because hell, we could have been in another fiasco just 4.5, 5 years later. Just lovely. All righty. Well, we got more news here. Trump warns trade partners that deadline for new proposal looms. Friendly reminder. The United States has notified trading partners on Wednesday deadline to submit proposals for new deals to avoid heightened tariffs. Press Secretary Caroline Levit has confirmed. The Office of the United States Trade Representative sent this letter to all of our trading partners just to give them a friendly reminder that the deadline is coming up, which makes me a little bit worried. Usually you're giving people reminders because there's nothing that has been sent in. So in the same way, as an educator, you do this with a class or a group of people that you know are notorious for not turning in their work on time, or there's things that have happened in the past and you go, I want to get ahead of this because every year, we're going on a 3-day vacation and their homework's due Sunday. It's not due Monday, even though they have Monday off of school. I'm going to go ahead and give them a reminder that the stuff is due on Sunday and not Monday. You do that because things have happened in the past, which tells me some things are going on behind the curtain here that aren't exactly good. Maybe people are not coming in and negotiating to the extent that we thought they were. Levit added that President Donald Trump's trade team, led by Trade Ambassador Greer and Besant and Lutnick are in talks with many of our key trading partners around the globe. Well, maybe you are. I don't know what you mean by talks, but if they're not sending in their stuff to negotiate, we got a problem here. This letter was simply to remind these countries that our deadline is approaching and the president expects good deals, and we are on track for that. I will emphasize. I hope so, but you know, what do you give, 90 days? So I guess we'll be coming up on that sooner or later. Levit's comments confirm an earlier Reuters report that the U.S. Trade Representative sent letters to trading partners warning of upcoming deadline. April 2nd, Trump announced Liberation Day and rolled out substantial tariff hikes on dozens of countries while complaining about the United States trade deficit and unfair trade practices used against the United States. The president paused the tariffs for 90 days on April 9th until July 8th. So there you go. We got about, almost another month here to give affected nations a chance to negotiate for new trade agreements, which, again, I think we all agree is a good move, because why give everybody pain? Because we feel pain too. Why shoot ourselves in the foot if people want to be in good faith and actually negotiate this thing out and, you know, get all their, what's the phrase, all the ducks in a row to try to figure out what's best for both sides? Very similar to what we did with the English, with our fellow English brethren. And look, we got that sorted out really quick. I don't know what's taking everybody else so long, but we got that stuff done pretty quickly. Now there's a conversation to be made and a point to be made that this is allegedly the trade agreement that we made with the UK that I think it was with the entirety of the UK that, you know, since that trade wanted to be taking place for so long and nobody thought we'd be able to do it, that maybe there's a case to be made that it was already so much in the works that it was easy to pass through. So rather than starting with a blank slate, if you know what I mean. Levit said that the trade agreements will be negotiated and finalized on a case-by-case basis, which is how it should be. And that was one thing I didn't really like with the blanket tariffs. I understand maybe there's a strategy behind that the blanket tariffs were utilized in such a manner that it created such a crisis and chaos. And this is Trump's words, by the way, that it brought everybody to the negotiating table. It created such an uproar that everybody was like, oh God, oh shit, call the guy, just call him. I don't care if you get along with him or not. And he had that. So that was also in the news. There's more stuff going on here in terms of Gaza. Media reporting under fire in Gaza conflict. So this is something that was brought up during yesterday's White House press briefing, which we covered here during Dark MAGA. If you weren't with us, the White House press briefings are our bread and butter, folks. So much so that there's people in that room, I always say this, that know who we are. And if they know who I am, they know who you are as well. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying it in a negative terms. It's the good reporters that we talk with in that room. I want to be clear. I'm not talking to the knuckleheads. I'm not talking to the CNN people. Come on, give me a break. By the way, I'm not going to tell you who I'm talking to because frankly, it doesn't matter. But people are like, oh, come on, you can name drop. I don't want to name drop because it doesn't matter. I'm sure you can read between the lines if you've been a long-time viewer of the show. There's certain people that I highlight all the time that I adore. And it's not just because I talk to them or that they follow me or that they do this or that or they said something nice about me. They could say the worst thing about me. As long as they report good news, that's what I care about. Doing this job, people are always going to say dumb things about you. Kind of like that guy did when we led with the story of him talking about all that stuff that I said was wrong, which nothing I said was actually wrong. Well, recent events have brought scrutiny to how media outlets report on conflicts, particularly those involving Israel and Gaza. Huh. You mean people might have a bias and a narrative regarding this conflict? Who could have thought? Several posts highlight criticisms against the BBC and the Washington Post, which Caroline, I just want to show you what happened really quick. Here's the BBC and the Washington Post. And this is Caroline. It's going to happen really fast, okay? So don't blink. Smacked the crap out of him yesterday, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Well, the Washington Post for initially reporting unverified claims about civilian casualties, which were later corrected or retracted. White House Press Secretary Caroline Levit had publicly called out these outlet entities for not verifying information before publishing, emphasizing the need for accuracy in journalism amidst conflicting reports from Gaza. So this is what they do. They get this. I guess I got to start doing this, right? Because you guys have the chat above my head. I got to be smart about this. Do you guys like the chat, by the way? Do you like the chat on the screen? Let me know. Spam my chat if you guys like it. put yes or no, and we'll keep it up or take it down. Because I just realized my head is there, like right in the middle of it. I'm like Joe tasting ice cream. I can taste your comments. Shit. We'll see what you guys say, but there's enough people in here where I think we'll either keep it up or we'll take it down. We'll see. We'll see what you guys decide. Okay. All right. Let's do this then. I'll take the feedback of the patrons, baby. We're a community together. If you guys don't like something, you got to let me know. There you go. It's taken off. Boom. Look at that magic. Wingardium Leviosa. All righty. Well, here we go. So she called out the Washington Post yesterday, and I believe, let me make sure this is actually the clip. Okay, so this is the one about the BBC and fake news. All right, here we go.
Media, we don't take the word of Hamas with total truth. We like to look into it when they speak, unlike the BBC, who had multiple headlines. They wrote, Israeli tank kills 26, Israeli tank kills 21, Israeli gunfire kills 31, Red Cross says 21 people were killed in an aid incident, and then, oh wait, they had to correct and take down their entire story, saying we reviewed the footage and couldn't find any evidence of anything. Oh, okay, so we're going to look into reports before we confirm them from this podium or before we take action, and I suggest that journalists who actually care about truth do the same to some in the media.
All right, well, we'll figure out the chat for this summer. I'll get something going. I have some ideas, but I got to set it up, and well, to set things up, you got to have time. So here's the correction. Oops, we screwed this one up. Correction. We deleted the post below because it and early versions of the article didn't meet post fairness standards. Wouldn't you expect that to happen in the editor's process? The background, early versions of the article on Sunday stated that Israeli troops had killed more than 30 people near a U.S. aid site in Gaza, with the headline attributing the action to health officials. The article failed to make clear if attributing the deaths to Israel was the position of the Gaza Health Ministry or a fact verified by the Post. The article and headline were updated on Sunday evening, making it clear that there was no consensus about who was responsible for the shootings and that there was a dispute over that question. Well, when people are being lit on fire, Washington Post, as well as they're being deleted outside events in Washington, D.C., and attacked on college campuses, I would say you probably should get your bleep straight. People would probably be pretty upset to know that Israel or the IDF are targeting aid centers, and if you're blaming it on them, wouldn't that piss a lot of people off? But now you're going to, so before you're going to blame somebody for something they may have not even done, like you're not even sure, you're just like, they fucking did it, I know they did. I could smell it. And now you're going, yeah, there's real no consensus up. So, well, we fumbled that one. Not a big deal. It's okay. Not a big deal. No, it kind of is a big deal. You just blamed a bunch of people for doing something they didn't do. Now, look, we get stuff wrong all the time. You get stuff wrong. I get it. But you're the Washington Post. At least for me, if I got something wrong, I have the excuse. I work 3 jobs. I do this as my hobby. I don't do it full time. I don't even remotely do it full time. I do it for fun. I'm going to get things wrong. So I at least have an scapegoat. Is that a scapegoat, escape outlet? I at least have the freedom of that to like not give myself total blame. But I mean, I don't hire people to do investigative work to figure out and source material for me to see if it's right or wrong. I don't even have a producer. It's just me doing this. Well, while statements from Israel that was unaware of injuries, and that an initial inquiry indicated its soldiers didn't fire at civilians near the site were included in all versions, the Post didn't give proper weight to Israel's denial and gave improper certitude about what was known about any Israel role in the shootings. The earlier versions fell short of the Post standards of fairness and should not have been published in that form. But how many times have we seen this? I mean, obviously Donald Trump brought it to light more so than ever in 2016, his first term. But how often have we seen this And by the way, we don't even usually get this. So shout out to Washington Post. Let's give credit where credit's due. They posted on X about their correction. Normally, right, what they do is they bury it at the end of their damn article. So you never know that there's a correction unless you stumbled across the article after they've already made the correction. And a lot of people aren't going to go back and go, hey, you know what? I read an article a few days ago. I wonder if they just missed it. Let me go ahead and look it up again. Nobody does that. So now there's going to be people running around that think this crap is true. I'll give you a case in point. There's still people running around that thinks that Donald Trump really does think that there's good people on both sides. And he was talking like there are good people on both sides, but not the KKK, not these white supremacists and racists. But because the media pushed that narrative for so long and didn't come out with a correction until like what, last year, Snopes? Last year. So years and years and years later, come out with a correction. There are people, a lot of Democrats are still roaming this earth like NPCs, like the monsters, like the Walking Dead, like Joe Biden. I still think that stuff is true. Unbelievable. And it wasn't just her whacking the BBC upside the head and the Washington Post over that. Oh boy. She came out yesterday swinging. I'm telling you, she warmed up beforehand. She was hitting the speed bag. It was the Democrats' nuts. There is no mystery. Caroline Levit lights up the Washington Post over a ridiculous fentanyl headline. Folks, she nailed them yesterday, and we got giddy here in the chat. I'll be honest, Dark MAGA, we kind of popped off yesterday. We had a good time, didn't we? That's why you want to join Rumble Premium, folks. You can join us Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes it's open to everybody, but it gets really spicy when it's closed. If you haven't experienced Dark MAGA when it is closed, you haven't experienced it yet. You got it. Here we go.
Washington Post just ran one of the most ridiculous headlines ever, even by their standards. And on my very first briefing several months ago, I said I would hold anyone accountable in this room. The Washington Post actually had this headline: the mysterious drop in fentanyl seizures on the U.S.-Mexico border. How is this mysterious? There is no mystery about why there is a decrease in fentanyl coming into the United States.
What a headline. Now, here's the thing. I don't really mind the headlines so much because you need some sort of clickbait. For example, that first video I showed you in the morning today, where that guy made the video about me, and my title was Japan Prepares for War. Well, there is truth to that. They are preparing for war by possibly trying to figure out if they want to get a nuclear warhead or not. God forbid that they would have to ever use it. But also, it's clickbait. It's to get people to watch the video. Everybody knows people do that. But it's also in the realm of what I'm talking about is they truly are preparing for war, and they're trying to decide, hey, can we rely on the United States or not? Now, this doesn't look like clickbait to me. This just looks like you're pushing it because most people don't read most of the article. They just read a headline going, wow, how the U.S., how is that possible? Donald Trump secured the border. What do you mean, how is this mysterious? It's obvious. This is what they do. But these are the same people. This is the same Washington Post that thought Joe Biden was cognitively coherent. Yeah, the guy was, fitter than anybody. Guy hops around the White House like a gazelle. He's just super fit, super slim.
This administration's strong border policies are the reason there has been a decrease in fentanyl trafficking. His strengthened relationship with Mexican President Sheinbaum and all of the measures he has been taking to deter illegal human and drug trafficking at our United States southern border is the reason for plummeting fentanyl seizures at the U.S. border. There is nothing mysterious about that, and we'd like to see the Washington Post update their headline accordingly. This is clearly trying to intentionally manipulate the minds of Americans, and I think the American people understand why there's been a fentanyl drop. In our office responded to this inquiry. We provided a whole host of the reasons that fentanyl seizures at the southern border have dropped, and the Washington Post refused to run them, and that's despicable.
All right, so I did look up to see if the Washington Post, because we talked about this in Dark MAGA yesterday. I know I keep bringing up Dark MAGA, but this is where we talk about some of the stuff. Let me make sure I don't screw up my thing here. Now, this is an old seating chart, but it's still really relevant. The reason why is because from what I've seen, this is this, and let me zoom in here for you guys. Let me do this. That's not good. This. Okay, so just so you're familiar, here's the podium. This is still the seating chart, I believe, to this day, because Phil still sits here. Fox Business is Ed. He still sits here. So I'm looking at this, You know, you have Peter Ducey here, Jackie Heinrich. You got Zeke Miller sits here, Caitlin Collins. Sometimes you'll get Ed O'Keefe, not Ed O'Keefe, Ed over here. I can't remember his, maybe it is Ed O'Keefe. Yeah, Ed O'Keefe does sit here. Sometimes you get Peter Alexander over here. This is where Kristen Welker used to sit. One of these. Anyways, I think this is the same layout. Now, from what I'm seeing, I don't see, unless you guys see it, and I'm missing it, I don't see the Washington Post here. Oh, wait. Just kidding. They're right here. What the hell, Brad? Open your eyes, you idiot. Okay. So, well, it's morning. Give me a break, okay? You see the bags under my eyes. Stop judging me. I'll kick your ass. Here we go. I did this the other day. I did this during Dark MAGA where I pulled up an article. Or it wasn't me pulling up an article. Caroline Levitt posted an article on the TV screen. And for those that were with me last night, you guys were howling. I did the same thing. I was like, oh, like if I had this right here, right? She pulls up something that's a screenshot of just this on the screen. And I go, oh, you know, I've been doing this long enough. I know exactly who this is. And I was about to say Fox News. Dude, it said Fox News on the screen. Oh, man, I'm an idiot. Anyways, it says the Washington Post right here. So they are in the room. I bring that up because I would like her to smack them around by looking them straight in the damn eye and just leaning into the mic like Joey did. Hey, you sucker, I smell you. And go, hey, I don't even know who does the Washington Post. I don't know who their White House correspondent is. And just be like, hey, what do you think it is? What do you think is mysterious about it? And just call them out. Spend the time and just slap them around. I want to see that. Again, I got frustrated yesterday because I'm so tired of us being nice to these people. They're not nice to us. They lied to all of us. And they still lie to all of us. They don't even want to cover the fact there's a pathogen going on in the United States right now that we caught. So shout out to Caroline for calling them out. And look, this is something we said that she should be doing, right? Now, I don't know. I don't know if she listens, but I'll tell you what, a lot of our feedback somehow keeps appearing. I don't know how. It's not like, well, you know, you might get something right. Folks, is it just me? Maybe I'm reading too far into this. And like I said, I always appreciate your honesty, baby. And this is the relationship we have here. You guys can make fun of me. You know, you just, we're that type of friendship where you just, like, you tell it like it is. And that's why we're, you know, that's, I think, why we get along so well. Don't you think it's at least a little bit odd that whenever we, as a community of patriots here, the Baldies, the Bald Brad Show, the Bald Brad Army is how I like to call it. I'm not a big fan of the Baldies. I don't know. I like the Bald Brad Army better. You don't find it a little bit odd that every time that we give advice that it suddenly appears at some point, like the next week or the following week after that in the White House press briefings? Does nobody find that a little bit odd? No, it's possible. Look, it's all possible where it's like, yeah, you know, they thought about it too and they came up with it. Like, I don't know. Bro, I think it's almost if she starts calling out people in that room by name, you know something. You know, that would be like proof. We'll see. We'll see. Well, Musk has been coming out and popping off here. Musk, I don't know, man. Musk, I don't know if it's one of those things where he has such a good relationship with Donald Trump that Trump's like, yeah, let him say whatever he wants. It's cool. I like the guy. I like him. He's cool. Because, you know, we all have, like, okay, if you guys came out and said something that was, like, say I did something, you're like, yeah, you know, I don't agree with it, and I think it was a stupid thing to do, you know, that's your opinion. And I like you so much so that I'm like, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. You know, maybe I did say something stupid. Maybe I do need to reevaluate it. Or I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't think I said what was stupid. I think it's right. And so maybe they have that type of relationship, kind of like we do with each other. Well, Elon Musk has publicly criticized the recent proposed One Big Beautiful Act bill, big, beautiful, massive, I love it, by President Donald Trump, labeling it as a disgusting abomination due to its potential to significantly increase the U.S. budget deficit by estimated $2.3 trillion. Folks, I hate to say it, the math is right. Elon Musk is correct here. I know we don't want to hear it because we love Trump, but I'm not bothered by it, which is weird because I'm a fiscal conservative man to the core. And I'll tell you why. Is because all the things that Trump wants in this bill, I'm not saying there's not pork in it and stuff we shouldn't be spending money on. That's not what I'm saying. Of course that's in there. I've been wanting a border wall for decades 20 years. That's in here. So there's things in here that we just didn't spend on in the past. And because we didn't spend on the past, it's inherently going to be more expensive because things get more expensive over time. So I knew going into this that he's going to, by the way, he said he was going to do it. This is not a surprise to me. He said that we need the money to do the things that we're going to do. And then after, we need to figure out all this other stuff in terms of figuring out the budget and stuff like that. At least, unless I'm missing something, but that's what I heard the man say. Now, when did he say it? I can't remember. We do this all the time. I hate people go, well, when did he say that? Do the fucking research yourself. Not you guys, Patriots. Please take a water break real quick. Come here, Democrats. Come here. There's a thing. It's a beautiful thing. Al Gore takes responsibility for it. I'm not sure if that's really true. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. There's a thing called the World Wide Web. That's where you get the www from. And what's amazing is, you see this thing on my screen? This is called the World Wide Web. This is called the internet. If you're wondering why there's not many people around right now, it's because I told them to go on a water break real quick. Go fill their cup of coffee again. This is for you lefties and Democrats. There's a thing called the internet where you could do your own fucking research and not rely on everybody to spoon feed you fucking everything. I'm so tired of people going, well, where's your sources? Google the fucking shit. God, you got AI that will do it for you. How fucking lazy you need to be? Yeah, I'm fucking popping off right now. How lazy do you need to be to ask everybody for every fucking sentence that comes out of their mouth? Oh, what sources are you using? Google it. It will fucking appear somewhere. You don't even have to get my exact sentence down. You'll probably find it using ChatGPT, Grok. I mean, hell, there's unlimited resources. Fucking keyboard warriors out there. And we're back in that scene. Welcome back, Patriots. Good to see you. Hopefully you got a nice cup of coffee. And if you're wondering, Brad, what happened? What'd I miss? Don't worry. Just had to slap some people around. Not a big deal. You're okay. Shh, you guys are okay. Everything's fine. We're back. Now, if you're wondering, how does he have so much energy in the morning? How does he do it? Well, let me tell you. If you're wondering what I'm drinking every morning, I tell you every time, you can still see how thick I make the coffee. This is real. This is the real deal. Do I need to spit it in your faces for you to think that I drink it? I do. I drink 1775 coffee, folks. If you still haven't heard about it, what are you doing? It's like the best coffee in the market right now. Now is your shot, by the way, if you haven't tried it. The 1775 starter kit. Folks, if they keep sponsoring it, you're buying it up like hotcakes. Why else keep sponsoring something if you're not buying it up? They're doing another 1,000. They're doing a freaking another 1,000. I don't know why they get rid of the 1,000 units. Just start selling the stuff as it is. Just make a bleep ton of them. A ton of them. People are buying them up left and right. You get a tumbler. You get a tumbler. You get a silver spoon and some 1775 coffee. You're getting the Bull Dark Roast, baby, that hits harder than a CNN fact check. That's the one I drink, by the way. So if you want to be on my level, you got to get the Dark Roast. But you can also check out the Smooth Medium Roast because that's the one you guys are buying, by the way. I was told you guys are buying up the Smooth Medium Roast like never before. And the Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. So you're not going to be like Joey is what I'm saying. You're not going to be like Joey on this crash. You're going to feel good throughout the day. No crashy crash. It's all single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom can't be stirred with plastic, folks. We're bougie. We're like Trump. I want gold. I want 24 karat. I want the good stuff. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. The tumbler is beautiful, by the way. I've seen photos of it. The reason why I don't use a tumbler, folks, I got my own brand. Come on. We can only do so much here. $170 worth of coffee and gear. Yours for $99. Hell of a deal. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble and our channel, by the way. Wonder if it's actually worth it? It is. I drink it. If you want to be crazy like me, you got to get it. Is this not proof of marketing? Is this not proof of concept working out? Folks, hello? How do you think I wake up early? 4:30. There's nobody on the internet that brings us energy. The secret to me of the energy is the 1775 coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit now, folks. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. The stuff is phenomenal. Proof of concept, is it not? How the hell does the guy do it? It ain't cocaine. It's not. I'm sorry, I don't do drugs. Barely take ibuprofen. Real deal, man. Real deal. So back to Musk. See, well, he sparked debate because he's been hounding Trump about it. Now, interest payments already consume 25% of all government revenue. This is true, by the way. If the massive deficit spending continues, there will only be money for interest payments and nothing else. No Social Security, no Medi-Cal, no defense. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. About U.S. budget bar graph. Let me see if I can give you something here. There is a graph. I want to see if we still have it. I want to show you a bar graph just because it's a lot easier visually to see. Let me see if I can find it. If I can't find it now, that's okay. But the amount of money that we spend on interest alone, I mean, there's a pie chart. It's an old pie chart, but let's go to the debt clock. I don't want to show you the debt clock because it's kind of crazy and it spazzes people out. But the interest now, so it goes Social Security, interest, and then Medicare, and then our defense budget is what it is. And the debt clock's taking forever to load. So maybe, there we go. So this is what we're dealing with. We're almost going to hit probably very soon, 37 trillion. You all owe this amount of money right here. Congratulations. Right here, Medicare, Medicaid is the highest budget line item of $1.6 trillion. Now you're going to see Social Security is 1.5 and you're going to see interest on debt. This is net though. Our interest is our second highest line item, by the way. So it goes Medicare, Medicaid, then it goes interest on our debt, Social Security, and then defense. We will, at some point, based on what we're doing, interest on our debt is going to be our largest budget item. And it used to be that we actually got a bar graph here, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. You get what I'm saying. You don't need to see it visually. You're not stupid. So we have that as a problem. So Elon is right here, I think, to bring awareness to what's happening. And again, I knew Donald Trump would do this. My goal is to see him for the rest of his term to try to figure that out. And you know, because this will last us, I believe, till the end of his term, but I would like to get everything figured out with Doge and get a clean budget and clean thing. Now, whoever's next president is probably going to blow it out, but we can't keep doing this, man. We'll crumble. We'll crumble. It's now that we have the border secure, this is my number one issue is the budget, is the deficit, budget deficit, all that stuff. All righty. So again, yeah, see, this is trending. Elon can't stand it anymore. Goes nuclear on big, beautiful bill. He just really laid into it. And it's a problem. Look, you go in, you do all that hard work for so long for Doge, and to kind of see it almost evaporated through this spending package, this bill. I don't know. I see where the frustration comes from. Can we go a little bit longer today, about 15 minutes, you guys? Is that okay? Because I want to go over this. This is important news because I don't want to be a hypocrite here. This is something the media doesn't cover all the time. Right? We saw in yesterday's White House press briefing, Caroline Levit stood on the podium and she showed all these illegal immigrants doing nefarious things, evil things to children. I'm trying not to use the word because I keep getting flagged on YouTube and they're not pumping out my videos because I'm using keywords that are getting caught by the AI that are not pumping my videos out, I believe. They're doing terrible things to children. And it's frustrating because I got so frustrated yesterday because the media are listening and seeing the images on the two plasma TVs behind Caroline of these images of these people, just like I have on my screen. And they just look at her, go, huh? And they move on with their stupid questions. It's like, is nobody fazed by what these men are doing to our children? Is nobody fazed by it? Dude, it gets me amped, man. Immediately I get pissed off, which is very rare. There's only two things that will set me off to where, God, I want to really fuck you up. It is if you mess with my family, I will destroy you. You don't understand. I will end you. If you mess with me and my family, most of my family, I could take a lot, but if you mess with my family, I'm going to fuck you up. There's people on here that need to hear that, by the way, not you patriots, but you understand what I mean. I will. The other one is you messing with children. Those are two things that will take me from 0 to like 1,000. And I contain it here on the show because it amps me up, man. Dude, it really, like you guys can't see it, but man, I do like white knuckle when I'm covering some of these. I bring my hands down and I go like this a lot. down here. You just can't see it. I mean, every guy's like that, right? Where every guy has a 0 to 100, and just depending on what it is. Some guys, it's like, you cut him in line and he flips out, or you cut him off in traffic. That's his 0 to 100. Me, I'm pretty low key most of the time. There's really, like I said, there's only two things that will set me off. Very rarely do I ever actually get pissed. Remember, a lot of this is for entertainment, folks. I keep saying it. Yeah, I love you. All right. I have no idea why I did that. It's too much Joe. It's too much Joe. I'm sorry. Some of you are like, what the fuck did I just hear in my ears? Remember, some people only listen to this on audio, and I straight up just went into the mic. Just think some dude sitting there typing along at work. Go, what the fuck was that? What the? Like, tap it was in my earbuds. Teen. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this word. It sounds like mole. And then there's a ending to that word called stead. Okay. Mole. And then stead. You see what I did there? By illegal alien who Biden admin sent her to live with. Oh, but I was told by these people that this wasn't happening. I was told. I show you the picture of that smug dude that was debating Ben Shapiro that said this wasn't happening. And I even gave you the link to the video for you to go source it out yourself and listen to the guy say those exact words. It's not happening. Exact words. It's not happening. A 37-year-old illegal immigrant man was arrested for allegedly sexually abusing at least one. So at least one. It could have been 10, could have been 5, it could have been 2. Teen girl who the federal government sent to live with him as part of the Biden administration scheme to place unaccompanied alien children in homes of unrelated, loosely vetted sponsors. And what did we say was going to happen? What did we say for all those years? It's almost like we said this would happen. And the Democrats, how could you say something like that? That's not happening. You think illegal immigrants would do something like that? Some of them, yeah. Yeah, I actually do. I think some of them are actually evil. Yes, I do. Not all of them. Majority of them actually wouldn't do this, but some of them will. And the some of them part is kind of the problem here. The some of them is kind of the problem. Wilson Lopez Carrillo was arrested by Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office in Florida on May 22nd, charged with 3 counts of sexual assault on a minor. Oh, by the way, how many pictures did we see yesterday during the White House press briefing that was just child rape, child rape, child rape, child rape, child rape? How many? Police said in charging documents that the victim had arrived in the United States in August of 2023 as a 16-year-old and was placed by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services in a home of several whose names are redacted but appear to include Lopez. The victim reported 3 instances of sexual battery by Redacted all occurring in February 2024. Redacted stated that Redacted was not present during these incidents as she would be out with her children selling tamales to support the family. She explained that the Redacted took advantage of Redacted's absence to abuse her. Isn't that just lovely? Look at that. Good. Jeez. Heavily redacted police statements suggest that the adult woman in the house became suspicious and confronted Lopez. The victim was given 3 days to leave the house and sought refuge with a friend from a church. The friend contacted the woman, who revealed that the blank redacted person had sexually assaulted the victim, which led to her expulsion. No. Oh, it's happening all the time. Happening all the time. I mean, I have article after article. So we're just going to show you the headlines real quick, rapid fire. Here's another one. Illegal alien held on ICE detainer after firing at police chopper with stolen gun. Well, how do you get the gun? I was told illegal immigrants couldn't. I was told by Legacy Media that how could they get the guns? How could they? Oh, he must have went to a gun show and used a loophole. Or he bought it off the street by somebody that stole somebody else's firearm. Or somebody had it legally and maybe shaved off the serial numbers. Hell, I don't know. Got it somehow illegally. Well, that's good. Oh, good guy. Oh, yeah, no, this guy. Young kid, 17 years old, somehow had a firearm. I don't know, he went through the process, went through the background checks and everything. Just a legal citizen, like the Maryland man. Where's this guy from? Where's this at? Nashville. He's a good Nashville guy. Nashville man. Yeah. Goes on Broadway, the street down there next to the stadium, and plays the guitar. Yeah, for free, by the way. Doesn't even take tips. Can't believe it. Guy will actually buy you a drink. Believe it or not. Oh, what, you want to drink in a song? Absolutely. Do it on me. if you want to find out afterwards, I'll be sweeping the streets for free. Yeah, the city doesn't have to do it. I'll be out there with a broom and dustpan. Do it every evening. Yeah, I'm a good guy. Just out here to get a good education. Try to make a difference in people's lives. I go to the soup kitchen every Sunday before church. Make sure everybody has a hot meal. Yeah, I make the food myself. Yep. Yeah, do it all. Yeah, give me a break. So tired of this crap. Well, they're all good people. Really? Then why does it keep happening every day? Every day it keeps happening. And it's not an outlier. No, it's not. Happening all the time. All the time. It would be like, everybody, it's like the plane incidences. They actually happen all the time. All the time. Unbelievable. Well, we made it through another show. I guess you made it through another show. It is a roller coaster, I'll admit, even for me. We go ups and downs, left and right, ups and daisy. But we made it, and we made it out alive. I have a lot more news to cover, but that's why starting Monday, we're going to be going to a multi-hour stream, folks. Multi-hour stream, 2-3 hours. We'll see where it takes us. But that is starting Monday. On Monday, I'm going to say this again. You don't have to stay the entire time if you don't want. But we will be doing multi-hour streams. So we're not limited to an hour, which means we can go further in the articles. We can do further rants, spend some time with the chat, show a little bit of love to the Patriots. Yes, hit that like button. Thank you so much. I would love for you guys to join me the entire time because you know me. I love hanging out with you. But if you haven't already, hit that like and follow button. We do this each and every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we go over a bunch of different articles. Sometimes it's more videos. Sometimes it's more articles. Sometimes it's more shenanigans. Sometimes it's more craziness. We don't know what we're going to bring you here, but that's why you keep coming back, because you never know what you're going to get, but you know you're going to get good entertainment. Folks, we're not going to raid somebody today unless you really demand it. We can if you would like. But other than that, plan is to go to work, come back, and make some TikTok videos. Love you. Take care of one another. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. And folks, we'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. bright and early for another episode of The Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.